Anatoly Moskvin seemed like a smart guy. According to the Daily Beast, the college professor and Russian journalist mastered 13 languages. But he also had a peculiar hobby. He was a self-dubbed necropolist or an expert on cemeteries. Moskvin was so fascinated by cemeteries, in fact, that he visited 752 of them in and around his hometown. He wrote lengthy reports with titles like Great Walks Around Cemeteries and What the Dead Said that were published in a weekly newspaper called Necrologies. Apparently, this curiosity was tied directly to an incident from his childhood, which he divulged in his last contribution to the paper on OCT, 26, 2011. When Moskvin was 13, a group of men stopped him and forced him to join a funeral and to kiss the dead 11-year-old girl on the lips. "I kissed her once, then again, he wrote. The girl's mother then placed a wedding ring on his and her daughter's fingers. Moskvin wrote that his strange marriage ... was useful and spurred an irrevocable, lifelong fascination with the dead. Moskvin began writing about the dead and taking detailed notes of each cemetery he visited. He even spent a night in the coffin of a dead person ahead of their funeral. It was when locals found the graves of their loved ones desecrated and dug up in 2009 that Moskvin's hobbies became untenable. The Russian government had no leads, but they were sure extremists were to blame. Until 2011, nobody had any inkling who the culprit in this bizarre horror story was. But when police heard that Muslim graves were being desecrated in Nizhny Novgorod following a terrorist attack at Moscow's Domodedovo airport, they finally caught a break. They found Moskvin painting over the pictures of dead Muslims. While he wasn't desecrating the bodies themselves, authorities arrested him and searched his apartment. That's when they realized they'd stumbled upon a real-life horror story. Countless life-size dolls littered the apartment, which Moskvin shared with his parents. The dolls' hands were covered in fabric, and makeup covered their faces. It quickly became apparent that these were not inanimate objects. These were the mummified corpses of human girls. When police tried to move them, music began to blare. Moskvin had embedded music boxes into the chest cavities of these dolls. A dried human heart and a piece of a gravestone were found in the home as well. The corpses were stuffed with rags, their eye sockets filled with buttons or toy eyes. Moskvin said he would watch cartoons with them, and that he dug them up because he was lonely. He said his biggest dream was to have children, and that he'd been waiting for science to figure out how to revive the dead. His parents had no idea. They assumed their son had a hobby of building large playthings. In court, their son confessed to 44 counts of abusing graves and dead bodies. I still find it hard to grasp the scale of his sickening work, but for 9 years he was living with my mummified daughter in his bedroom, said Natalia Chartimova, the mother of Moskvin's first victim. I had her for 10 years, he had year for 9. Despite psychiatrists claiming that Moskvin's condition is steadily improving, prosecutors agree with Chartimova and have continued to keep him safely removed from society.